Why did God allow religious wars in the 15th and 16th century? I believe that God, in fact, did not allow them, or rather authorized them, but that they came from the hearts of man, Christians of all that time. The Catholic Church from the year 2000 decided to recognize its share of wrong, and in the Protestant Church, which produced just as many massacres, because the Protestants are quite simply Catholics who have become Protestants, and that pride was everywhere in the heart of man at that time. It doesn't come from the Catholic Church, it comes from the heart of an extremely powerful civilization, which therefore produces men proud of themselves. Protestants have not yet all taken the step to recognize their past. That's basically, if we look with a theological glance, what happened in Christianity is unified. Catholicism dominates the whole of Europe, and therefore necessarily because man is man, instead of turning to this God of humility and love, by confessing his sins, by being himself carried to humility and love, most Christians at that time developed rather a civilizational pride. We are the best, we are the most intelligent in the world, and we pride ourselves. And as soon as someone a little dissident arrives, he risks his life. Really, the Inquisition endangers his life. Then God, who sees the pride produced by his religion of holiness, will divide it. We see him doing the same thing with the Jewish people, which is an image of what the church will be when King Solomon becomes a proud king. God will divide his kingdom in two so that he is no longer so proud. And so a man at that time who thinks about theology, who is full of anxieties about his own sins, called Martin Luther, will produce heresy. That's what Catholics think, heresy. Why? Because only loss of many things for salvation, such as, for example, salvation by charity based on faith and not by faith alone, faith in the communion of the heavenly saints who help us, who are with us every day, who form a church with Christ, who will welcome us at the hour of death. Protestants will banish everything that is not Christ, and therefore to keep only in him, Christ alone, the rest being paganism. Nevertheless, in lands that had sometimes been evangelized by violence during the time of Charlemagne, this virile religion will be very successful. It will spread and tear the mantle of Christendom in two. To prove that there was pride at that time, it is that instead of finally talking, learning to understand each other, we will often start killing each other, and no one is more guilty than another, or no one is more innocent than another. Crimes will be on both sides, which shows the illness there was at that time. In fact, insidiously, invisibly, but God saw it, charity had cooled in the great number, because precisely the great success of the Christian civilization at that time of the cathedrals had produced, without realizing it, this fruit of death in the human heart, this fruit of death which is called pride.